Hi, good morning. It's Ian, and I thought what I'd do is I'd make this quick video just to give you some guidance and an idea of what you could do today. This is what I've chosen to do for my Huntress journey out this morning. Just dropped my daughter off at school, done some chores around the house. I thought I'd just come out now and just walk down the lane where I live. And so this is my little journey. Thank you for being part of this 8-week journey with me. It's fantastic. Hopefully you're finding your way around the group now and you're connecting with other people in your subgroup. And the subgroup is actually where you'll be posting your comments and your images and maybe a link to a video if you make a video. You don't have to make a video. I'm just doing this because it's part of my guidance for you and my support for you. And I can't put this video per se up on the community, but I will put a link. This will be a link to my YouTube channel. Again, if any of you did want to do a video, just send me the video if you're not able to put it up onto a YouTube channel or another video-based platform, and put the link across. Send it to me, and I'm quite happy to do that for you. So this is my Hunter's journey, and one of the things I'm going to do now at this spot, I'm going to pull one of my earphones out just so I can listen. Tune in to the soundscape around me. And I can hear a bird just up to my left. And there was a bee just hovering above me there as I was listening for the bird. So I could hear the bee as well, and I saw the bee. One of the things with training my senses, one of the things that I do is I don't always close my eyes. That's one of the things you can do if you're not moving. You can close your eyes to tune into your other senses. But one of the things I do is I just lower my gaze. I kind of relax my eyes, so I'm not really looking off into the distance. It's kind of a glazed look. I suppose I remember it as a kid I was always daydreaming, and I think when I was looking inwards, when I was getting insight, my eyes were still open, but they were a little bit dreamy because I was on the inside, not the outside. So it's just about relaxing your vision and noticing. I was listening to a wood pigeon there. I can hear a tractor in the distance, and there's a main road just up across the fields there that there are cars coming along it. Frequently at this time of the morning, it's often a busy road. Can hear the breeze in the trees. It's a hot day here in the UK. It's very hot here at the moment, so I'm smelling lots of sort of balmy, warm air. Every now and again I can pick up fragrance as I pass particular plants. Very grassy and bit of dampness. There's been some dew this morning, some moisture on the soil, so I'm picking up some dampness. One of the other ways to pick up on smell, and you can combine smell with touch, is that I'll pick a leaf, so I can feel this leaf, and it's quite a furry leaf. Leaves. Wonderful thing about leaves is you can get different types. You can get very smooth, cool leaves. You can get furry leaves, rough leaves, and there is a smell, but it's not a strong smell. So one of the things I'll do is, if there isn't a strong smell with the leaf, is I'll roll the leaf between my fingers, and just so it releases some of the moisture. It's very dry today, but there's still moisture in the leaf. So I'll just release some of the moisture on my fingers like this. Now I can smell. Now I can smell it, and they're very different smells when you come out into nature. They're not the smells we tend to we tend to experience most of the time. We get cooking smells at home, we get other smells at home. I've got a young child at home, and so there are other smells that I pick up on home. So these are quite different smells. They're not the smells that I usually am smelling during the day. So coming out into nature, it's like getting used to those new smells or those different smells around me. And so now I'm tuning into my smell, touch, listening. I can hear my feet on the gravel as I'm walking. I can hear myself speaking, obviously, to you. So lots and lots of sensory stimulus coming through. The senses that I'm often ignoring, or that are going on unconsciously. I'm becoming more aware of my breath, the breath. Nice refreshing breath in. I pause. Once I breathe in, I like to savour breath like I savour food and drink. So lovely refreshing breath in. I pause, and then I release it, and release tension, and release stress, and release all the other things I don't want, the toxins, out of my body. And I'll pause again, and then I take another refreshing breath in. Pause, release, and pause again. And I find that centers me, that balances me. And I've just stopped here because notice there's some flowers here that I'm going to smell here without picking them. Again, not as fragrant as I thought they would be, but certainly fragrant. And one of the lovely things about this exercise, as the Huntress exercise, is I talked about tracking bugs, tracking deer paths, tracking creatures and things, but tracking with my nose is a really good way. So, as I'm wandering along this hedgerow now, it's just touching and smelling to follow a scent path, because again, this is another way of connecting to our instinct. And the superpower of the hunter, the huntress, is instinct. And I'm sure our ancestors, who are all directly linked to us down through the ages, as an unbroken chain, an unbroken link from our ancestors to us now, and and our body through our genetics, has a huge amount of information passed from generation to generation to generation that often, I think, lies dormant because we're not using it. So training your senses, I think, and tuning into your instinct and tuning into your inner hunter, your inner huntress, to me is a wonderful way of triggering the depth of information that's in our DNA, passed on from our ancestors. And if you look at nature, this is what happens with plants and trees. Trees, just further down the road here, there is a beech tree that's estimated to be about 600 years old. And it always amazes me that beech tree 600 years ago was a little beech nut in a kernel that had just dropped from a tree, the mother tree. And just that tiny little beech nut contained all the genetic material, all the memory from the tree that had dropped it, all that memory, and from the trees that had passed before. In that seed was all those memories, all that information that this now 600-year-old beech tree, called the heritage tree, had to become a 600-year-old beech tree, to grow into that. Didn't have to go to school, it didn't have to learn anything, didn't have to follow other trees' guidance. It just trusted that all that information was deep within it, and it would grow. And as long as it kept growing towards the light, as long as it kept doing naturally what it's designed by nature to do, it flourished into this 600-year-old magnificent beech tree. There you go, soundscape now. I've got a helicopter in the soundscape, which is quite unusual for here. What an amazing view it must be from up there today, looking down. That'd be fantastic. And then look at these lovely sunbeams coming down through here as well. So, my senses are all stimulated now. And as I say, these senses have been passed to me from generation to generation. And my instinct is something that, once I tap into it and once I use it and develop it, it gets stronger and stronger. And so the idea of coming on this Huntresses journey now is for you to tap into your inner instinct, your senses, that old part of you that's linked to the oldest part of our brain, the cerebellum, the lizard brain. The oldest part of our brain is connecting and has a relationship with our senses. It's often why we say, that doesn't make sense, or we use the phrase making sense of the world. Words like sensible, sensitive, sensational, sentient, sensual, they're all connected to that word sense, because it's one of our deepest abilities. And it's really important, I believe, today to be able to tune into our instincts, the instincts of the huntress, the instincts of the hunter, our inner protector, the part of us that contains our temper, contains our courage, our confidence, our bravery. It's all part of the hunter and the huntress. And sometimes in life it's really important that we tap into our inner protector to protect ourselves, but also to protect others, to protect the people that we care about. And so that's again why on this journey it's really important. And as you know from when I was talking about this earlier, when we launched on Monday, that was very much about recognizing that the hunter, the huntress, is often a part of us that in society we suppress or we hide or we're told is bad and is not a good part of us. It's just an immature part of us when we're younger. And again, if we ignore it, we never develop it. And so for me, releasing my inner hunter, it could be quite scary. That when it comes out, it's a bit like I like to think if you imagine a wild animal. If you find a wild animal and you cage it, it doesn't want to be caged up. It doesn't want to be ignored. It needs to be out. It needs to be free. It needs to be roaming. And so quite often if you cage a wild animal up, when you eventually open the cage, the animal bursts out and charges out, and it might snarl and it might spit and it might growl at you. But the point is, it's just because it's been suppressed for so long. If you just leave wild animals to be wild, if you just allow them to do what they naturally do, they'll leave you alone. They won't bother with you. So, the more I've freed my hunter, the more I've allowed my hunter out. Sometimes I growl, sometimes I might snap, but I'm just protecting myself, particularly if I'm tired or I'm stressed. My temper might come out, or if I'm irritated or annoyed by something, my temper will come out. But that's part of me. That's an important part of me. It's the part of me that protects me. It's the part of you that protects you as well. So this journey is very much about following paths guided by your inner hunter, with the aim that you start to build a relationship. So, I have a little path here in front of me that I'm going to explore. I'm going to explore it on two levels. I'm going to explore it on the sort of the macro level, looking at what's around this path. I'm not going to go very far. I'm just going to travel to the end of the path there and then back. But I'm going to explore it on the macro level. See the big things around. There's a big tree over there. I'll look for animals. I'll look for very obvious things. But on the return trip back, I'll start to look for the smaller things. Look on the ground, look in the grass on the way, see what I can find in there. And also, I'll start to tap into an inner journey, my inner hunter. What's happening within me while I'm stimulating my senses, while I'm connecting to my instinct. And notice what comes up for me. Notice if I can recognize my inner hunter, whether I get any insight, any life lessons from nature around my inner hunter. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to wander home. I'll be out for about half an hour. You can do the same thing. I encourage you, if you haven't already done so, to get out. You can, I'm out here in the countryside, but you can do this in a park. You can do this in your garden. As I say, you can do this from an open window. You can just scan the landscape, listen to the soundscape. And maybe bring have some nature around you as well. And you can find it everywhere. Pot plants are a lovely place. Explore a pot plant. Follow follow what's happening in the soil around the pot plant. Same in the garden. Gardens are beautiful places for following. Nature is everywhere. Creatures in nature are everywhere as well. Track a fly if you've got a fly running around or flying around your house, and see if you can track that with sound and with also looking for it as well. And let it out rather than swat it and try and get rid of it. You know, maybe protect the fly by finding a way of guiding it out of your house if you're going to do this in the house. Anyway, I'm going to get on and do my little exercise now, and please leave comments under this video link. I'm going to put this link in all of the subgroups so you all get to see it, so it can guide you all, and I hope it's useful. And I'm looking forward to seeing your comments, your images, videos if you want to do them, but again, it's up to you. Any artwork that you do as well about this. And so enjoy the week, no rush, take your time, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you all again on Monday evening at 8 p.m. UK time to review the first part of the Huntress's journey. Take care now, and I'll talk to you again very, very soon. Bye-bye.